How can students balance academics with extracurricular activities and employment? And I know that both Alina and Sean have done exciting and fun things outside the classroom. Let me turn to you, Alina. Do you want to talk about that balance?
Yeah, so the work-play balance can be really hard to find, especially at academically rigorous schools like Duke, which has unfortunately been my experience. So there's a joke going around campus that there's sleep, there's academics, and there's social life, and you can only choose 2 out of these 3. And I would say that it's fairly correct. My main problem has been that there's just so much stuff going on campus all the time that it is extremely hard to pinpoint something that you're interested in to kind of balance your classes with the rest of the extracurriculars. So for example, my favorite thing to do at Duke has been the Model UN Club, which is like a debate geared towards international relations. And that is fairly time consuming in that we do 2 conferences a year and travel around the country, so it can be hard to balance with the rest of my classes and responsibilities.
In terms of the Model UN, is it different being an international student as part of the Model UN, or were you simply one of the group?
Oh, I mean, I always get to represent Russia whenever we get a position that is related to that country, but I feel like it is different and beneficial in many ways because despite the language barrier, I feel like I have a cultural perspective that is fairly different from what my peers who are American, who are also in that club might have. So that has been an input that I've been able to provide for them.
Thank you very much. Sean?
Yeah, so I would say actually, yes, that is probably one of the biggest challenges of like a US education, just balancing your academic experience and your extracurricular experience. So my personal experience was that I actually overcommitted to both initially. So those 2 out of the 3, sleep was the one that was missing for me. But I think it's really rewarding, and you should never let your academics be compromised because of what you're doing outside of the classroom, since that's the main reason you're there. But extracurriculars are also a really big part of their big learning point in college, and I think it's really important to try and do at least 1 or 2. So my 2 activities, my biggest activities were, the first one was the slam or performance poetry group that I was involved in, and that was something I was involved in earlier on. It's a combination of both writing and performance, and because of the practice and like kind of creative like requirements of slam poetry, that took up a lot of my time. So I think personally finding that balance was really about just prioritizing and learning to find spare time in the day where, for example, I would rehearse poems while like walking to class and just making use of those little moments. The other thing I was involved in was Greek life. So I was in a fraternity, which is sort of a social organization with a group of men sharing the same values. And that was also a big time commitment, but in a different way, because that was more social. And so as a result, I think it was just knowing how to kind of make myself sit down and study when I could be hanging out with my friends instead, basically.